Akrura pays his homage to the Lord, does upachara, shodosha upachara, bows down to him and so on. After that, the Lord tells him something which was the favorite topic of my father when he was alive. When I was a child, he used to say, Prema, don't think merely going to pilgrimages or going to temples is going to make you holy. Meet holy people. That is most important. And I was so happy that today's episode has that highlight. Krishna is telling Akrura, Tvam no guru pitruvyascha. You are our paternal uncle. Shlagyo bandhuscha nityada. You are a praiseworthy relative of ours. Vayam tu rakshya poshyascha. We have to be protected by you. Krishna is telling Akrura, you are our paternal uncle, elderly person. You should look after us. Anukampya prajaiva. Just as the good subjects are protected by a king. Bhavatvida mahabhaga. Nishevya arhasattama. Shreyas kamaindribihi nityam. Deva swartha na sadhavaha. Why I chose these passages? Because it highlights the glory of saints. Saints have been my favorite topics. Somehow, they bridge the gap between man and God. The saints bridge the gap between man and God. They bring God close to man. They bring God close to man. They bring man close to God also, both ways. I hope you understand. Otherwise, God seems far away. An unknown person, described and defined by everybody, but known by few. Whereas the saints bridge the gap. The Lord says, Bhavatvida Mahabhaga. People like you, Venerable Sire, Nishevya Arhasattama. You have to be sought after and you have to be praised. Shreyas Kamain Ribihi. Those men who want glory in life, those who want glory in life, they have to serve you. Please remember, Deva Swarthaha. Nityam Deva Swarthaha. Demigods are selfish. They ask for things for themselves. Na swadhavaha. Na sadhavaha. Sadhus, the saintly people don't want anything. And then comes that climactic comment of, I told you my father used to love. Na hayam mayani tirthani. Na deva mat chilamaya. Te punanti urukalena. Darshanat eva sadhavaha. Repeat this with me. As I'm saying it, you repeat from there. Nahi ammayani tirthani. Na deva mrit shilamayaha. Te punanti urukalena. Darshanat eva sadhavaha. This is Krishna's pronouncement. No one can deny that there are holy places with sacred rivers, okay? But then, or that the demigods come in the form of, they take on deity forms of earth and stone, mrit shilamayaha. They are made out of mud or they are made out of granite. But these purify the soul after a long time, whereas saintly persons purify us instantaneously. Jai Ho. भक्तों की जय भगवान की जय भक्तों की जय भगवान की जय भक्ति की अद्भुत महिमा की जय 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 भक्ति की अद्भुत महिमा की जय 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 भक्तों की जय भगवान की जय नहीं अम्मयानि तीर्थानि न देवामृत शिलामया ते पुनन्ति उरुकालेन. You go to Ganga, Godavari, Kaveri, you will get purified by and by. Whereas, darshanat eva sadhavaha. When you see a holy person, you are purified instantaneously. I have told my devotee listeners for several decades now. Whenever you go to any holy place, you can't take your checkbook. You can't take your credit card. Can you meet a saint and say, can I pay you from my credit card? Poor fellow. How can he accept from your credit card? So you take cash. When you want to meet a sadhu, you take cash. Or you, as the Marwari families take, they always have lovely envelopes. They put the dakshina in the envelope and give it to the sadhu, because that will be used by them. I have a digression. There was a great saint of Paramartha Ashram called Dharmananji Saraswati. Don't mistake me, but he was very realistic. That is why I want to share this with you. Whenever I talk about sadhus, I think of him. I used to go and visit him in Paramartha, head of the Paramartha Ashram in Haridwar. He used to sit under the tree. There was a fan in the tree. Hot air in Haridwar in summer is terrible, but that is the peak season when people come there, you know. So he used to tell me, he used to call me Prema, very senior to me. Prema, I want to share something with you. People come here. I sit for 2 months in this hot weather, and then I earn for the next 10 months to go. You understand? Because people come and give donations to the trust. But do you know that nobody asked whether I want toothpaste or not? This is where I find we lack the human touch. Nobody asks me. Everybody pays to the office and takes the receipt and goes. Nobody asks me, Prema, whether I have a toothbrush or I want a toothpaste. Ye dunya hai, Prema, ye dunya. I used to laugh at him. And it is we sadhus who bless them. And they make their millions when they go away. In those 10 months, they make millions and come back and give us 1 lakh rupees. That itself is a big donation. Imagine 1,000 people coming and giving 1 lakh. The whole ashram runs for 1 whole year. And that is how you have 1,000 rooms. How does it happen? Because of the sadhus. It is they who bless. Darshanateva sadhavaha. I was thinking to myself, the modern man will say, how can a sadhu purify you? My dear listeners, every sadhu has got so much of punya, just as the businessman carries cash. My great brother, Vinod Bhai Nivatia, had a huge farm and huge pockets also. And the pockets were always full, full of cash. He would take out cash with both hands and give. I've never seen anybody giving without counting. At first, I was shocked, but then I got used to it. I said, maybe that is his way. He says, God doesn't count when he gives me. So why should I count when I'm giving? I said, very logical, my son. Very logical. So that is how the sadhus give you punya. They don't want even punya. They want to go up there without any luggage, not even hand baggage. They don't want to carry anything. So japa, tapa, swadhyaya, dana, vrata, whatever they have done, they want to give that punya to you. That is why the moment we see them, we become purified. I was thinking, I'll analyze for you what happens when you meet a sadhu. That is the topic for today's message also, I decided. The impact of the sadhu on us. What does the sadhu do? His smile. His smile is the first indication of compassion. His smile makes you happy. When you meet a sadhu, no sadhu looks depressed. Even if he doesn't have one single tooth, he looks lovely with a toothless smile. I had a 99-year-old sadhu guru. He had not a single tooth. And yet when he smiled, it was a beatific smile. I felt Ganapati was smiling at me. That is how he was. That smile gives you a great encouragement. Their looks are full of blessing. They seem to tell you, don't worry, you can conquer any problem. You can overcome any problem in your life. That is what their eyes do. When they touch you and bless you on your head, your whole body tingles because of the vibration. Because of the vibration. Then when they speak, their words reveal to you what is happening in your heart, because every sadhu is a scanner. Every sadhu knows what is happening in you. You don't have to tell your guru what is happening. He knows what is happening and he will tell you exactly what is happening. That is why these words are important, smiles are important, touch is important, look is important. Their very presence is important. Darshanateva sadhavaha. This is the Lord's word, my dear listeners. This is the Lord's word. The Lord who is defining the great sadhus. Nayyam mayani tirthani na deva mritshilamaya te punanti urukalena darshanat eva sadhavaha. Please remember, darshanat eva sadhavaha. Pitaryuparate bala sahamatra sudukkita anita swapuram raja vasanta iti shushrumam. He calls Akrura and tells him, I have a favor to ask of you, Akrurji. Yes, Swami. Please go to Hastinapura. This is where Krishna is connected with the Pandavas. One wonders, I was always wondering, how did the Lord connect himself to the Pandavas? When King Pandu died and Mother Kunti came to the house of Dhritarashtra with her 5 children, I hope you remember. Yudhishthira was 16. When I do the Mahabharata, I tell you this. Yudhishthira was 16, Bhima was 15, Arjuna was 14, and Sahadeva, Nakula and Sahadeva, twins, they were 13. So 16 to 13. These are the small children. She comes with all of them and stands in the court of Dhritarashtra. She says, I want roti kapda makan. I want sustenance. I want sustenance. But all of us know how they were treated. The Lord is all-knowing. He knows what has happened. Please go there, Akrura. Please go there. Pitari uparate bala. When the father passed away, sahamatra sudukkita. They were sad. Their mother Kunti was sad. Anita swapuram rajnya. They were brought by Dhritarashtra into the court, into their capital, Hastinapura. Vasanta iti Shushruma. We came to know Vasanti. They are residing there. Teshu Rajambika Putru Bhratruputreshu Dinadhi Samona Vartate Nunam Dushputra Vashago Andhakrit. That blind king. The Lord always hates Dhritarashtra. That blind king called Dhritarashtra. That blind king called Dhritarashtra. He is not treating them well, Akrura. You know how and why? Because he's over fond of his children. Gaccha janihi tatvrittam. Please go there and find out what is happening to them. Adhuna sadhu asadhuva. Right now you go there and find out if they're well or not well. Vijnaya tatvidhaya smo. Vidhasyamo yathasham suhrudam bhavet. Go and see whether Dhritarashtra is acting properly or not. And when we find out, so, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam mama prana hi pandavaha. I will prove to the world that they are my life and soul. We will make necessary arrangements to help our dear friends. The Lord has already decided. When the Lord decides, all of us know. I think during the Janmashtami Tarpanam, you talk of Pandavanam Hitartaya, Kauravanam Vinashaya. If the Pandit is not okay, he will say Kauravanam Hitartaya, Pandavanam Vinashaya. Many Pandits do that. I correct them. Please don't mistake me. Because they are in a hurry to go to the next house for the next Tarpanam. So I tell them, no, wrong. Password wrong. Otherwise, the Pandavas will be destroyed and Kauravas will be saved. No. Just the lighter side of me. Just sometimes my mother used to say, you are very critical of Brahmins. I said, because I'm a Brahmin. I don't want them to go wrong. I don't want the world to find out a finger. I want them to be correct. If they take dakshina, they should know that their professional ethics is important. That every mantra that they pronounce, and we people who don't know Sanskrit, we just repeat what they are saying. Just to tell you, from this moment, the Lord says, they are under my care. Just let me know what is happening to the Pandavas there. I hope you remembered my Mahabharata. Poor Bhima is sad. Mother, look at the way, the nice clothes that Duryodhana wears. We are treated as stepchildren. She says, don't worry. One day we will get whatever you want. Ityakruram samadishya Bhagavan Haririshwaraha Sankarshana Uddhavabhyam Vai Tatasva Bhavanam Yayu. After that, after sending Akrura to Hastinapura, the Lord went back to his house along with Balrama and Uddhava, says the Bhagavata. Sahaputram cha Balhikam Bharadvajam sa Gautamam. There comes Akrura into Hastinapura and he meets all these people. He saw Dhritarashtra, he saw Bhishma, Vidura, Kunti, Bahalika and his son Somadatta, the Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Karna, Duryodhana, Ashwathama, and the Pandavas and all other close friends. He met all of them in Hastinapura. And then he came to know. He remained in Hastinapura for several months to find out what was happening to the weak king, the king who is prejudiced against the Pandavas and for his children. He had bad sons and he was inclined to listen to the bad advisors. When you are yourself bad and you have bad advisors, naturally you take wrong decisions. Teja ojo balam viryam prashrayadincha sadgunan prajanuragam prartheshu na sahatbhit chikirshitam kritam chadrtarashtrayat garadanadhyapeshalam achakyau sarvamevasmai pritha vidura evacham. Because Akrura remained there for a while, there was a confidential talk, conversation between Akrura, Vidura, and Kunti. Kunti says, Akrura, please go and tell Krishna, my children are not being treated well here because they have tejas, they have influence, they have military skill, bala, they have physical strength, virya, and they are humble and also brave. Prajanuraga, people love them so much. That is why my son Bhima was poisoned. Thank God he was saved by Krishna's grace. Go and tell Krishna, go and tell him, does my mother's place remember me? Apismarati na somya, pitarau bratarascha me, bhaginyo bratraputrascha, jamaya sakhya evacham. Whenever you have somebody coming from your mother's house, first thing you ask, do they remember me? Do they miss me? After I left the home, do my sisters remember me? Do my relatives remember me? Tell me, Akrura, will Krishna come to console me? Pitrihinan Balakan. My children have lost their father. My fatherless children. Will he come and save them? Will he come? How am I here? Santvaishyati mam vakyai pitrihinam balakan sapatna madhye shochantim vrakanam harinim iva. Look at the example that Mother Kunti gives. I am like a female deer among wolves. I am like a female deer among wolves. The wolves are the Dhritarashtra people, the Kauravas. They are the wolves who have surrounded me. Very unsafe I am. Will Krishna come? Tell him, Krishna Krishna Mahayogin, Vishwatman Vishwabhavana, Prapannam Pahi Govinda, Shishubhihi Chavasidatim. I'm not alone. I'm suffering with my children. Krishna, come and protect me. Namak Krishnaya Shuddhaya, Brahmane Paramatmane, Yogeshwaraya Yogaya, Tvamaham Sharanam Gata. Please go and tell him that I am sending this prayer to him. Akrura, Ityanusmritya Swajanam, Krishnam Jagadishwaram, Prarurat Dukkhita Rajan, Bhavatam Prapitamahi. Shukadeva says, your great grandmother Kunti, Parikshit, was crying. And that is the message she sent to the Lord from whom Akrura had come. Now, Akrura being a minister, Akrura is a minister. What is the meaning of a minister? He's a counselor. He has to minister justice. Wherever he goes, he has to talk the wisdom of the sages. He has to give good advice. Very carefully, without insulting Dhritarashtra. He says, Dhritarashtra, protect your subjects, treat your relatives well, which means you're not doing it. You understand? Please treat all your relatives equally. You will achieve glory. How? Dharmena palayan urvim, praja shilena ranjayan, vartamanas samasveshu. My children, my brother's children. That is how it is. When people start the Gita, I say that is where the seed of difference is sown. Dharma kshetre, kurukshetre, samaveta, yuyutsavaha, mamaka pandavaschaiva, kim akurvata sanjaya. You understand? You understand that the first shloka exposes Dhritarashtra, my children, my brother's children. When you have children at home, you say, these are my children, my children. Krishna Kumarji and myself went to a Hindu house in Germany. There were so many children. So I asked them, whose children are you? This is big papa, this is small papa, this is middle papa. Three brothers. This is big mama, this is middle mama, this is small mama. I said, thank you, children. This is how Rama would have treated Sumitra and Kaikeyi. That is the way. You should not differentiate my children, my brother's children. They are your children. They are your children. So treat them well, Dhritarashtra. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen. And remember, Dhritarashtra, Anyatha tu acharan loke garhito yasyase tamaha. You will go to the deepest hell if you don't do this. Akrura has nothing to gain from Dhritarashtra. He can tell him the truth is the truth and nothing but the truth. And you have to listen to it. After that, he says, Dhritarashtra, everybody is born alone. Everybody dies alone. In between, we think all our relatives are with us. Nobody comes with us. After the man dies, the wife is looking at his bank balance. Or after the woman dies, the man wonders how much gold she has collected and kept in the locker. Matlab ki duniya hai bhai, matlab ki duniya hai. That is how life is. Eka prasuyate jantu, eka eva praliyate, eko anubhunkte sukrutam, eka eva cha dushkritam. These are quotable quotes of the Bhagavatam. Man, every creature is born alone and every creature dies alone. Nobody dies with us. When we are born alone in the maternity ward. And when we die alone. People just drop us at the crematorium, come back, have a bath, and have a good lunch or dinner. After 10, 11 days, we are forgotten completely. Maybe on the anniversary, the Pandit will remind them. That is all. Please be detached. Be attached only to the saintly people because they will remember you always and pray for you. That is why Satsangatve Nisangatvam, Nisangatve Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve Nischalitatvam, Nischalitatve Jivan Muktihi, Eko Anubhukte Sukrutam. Man comes alone, man goes alone. Man enjoys the punya alone and suffers the papa alone. Nobody takes any part of it. I told you in Valmiki's life, Valmiki was a dacoit before he became Rishi. He was plundering people. The Saptarishis were attacked by him. They said, okay, sir, we admit you want to plunder us. But we just want to know, why are you plundering? So because I've got a camp, I've got relatives and friends and children. I have to look after them. Every day I loot people and go and feed them. Well, very good. Social work you're doing. But just go and find out the papa that you're doing. Will they share that papa? We'll wait for you here. Please go and find out. So there goes our dacoit and tells, hey, brothers and sisters, I loot every day and bring you the booty. Will you share my sin? They said, get lost. Why should we share your sin? You are plundering, so you have to suffer for the sin. We enjoy the booty, you suffer the sin. That is where we realize our papa is our papa. Not even our children, our spouses. Nobody shares it. Our punya is our punya. So we have to do it. Remember, sir, this is what Akrura tells. Samashanto bhava prabho tasman lokamimam rajan swapnamaya manuratham. Suddenly you find the world comes to an end. There is no tomorrow at all for many people. And after they go, you wonder, was this a dream? Were they really there with us? Or were we just dream walking? Was it a dream? Samashanto bhava prabhu. Please be peaceful. When Dhritarashtra heard this, he said, one thing about Dhritarashtra, he listens to so much of wisdom and does not benefit by it. You understand? We benefit. He heard the Bhagavad Gita, he did not benefit. Millions have benefited. He heard the Sanat Sujatiya, he did not benefit. We benefited. He heard the Vidur Niti, does not know anything about Niti at all. That way, he's a very good catalyst, you know. He just ignites. He just is the matchstick. After that, the matchstick is gone. The matchstick does not burn thereafter. But it lights the fire of wisdom in our hearts. That matchstick which he lit. That has given us the Vidur Niti, that has given us the Bhagavad Gita, that has given us the Sanat Sujatiya. And now he's saying, oh, your wisdom is like nectar to me. Nothing. No effect on him at all. Don't worry. Tathapi sundruta saumya radinasthiyate chale. What can I do? Akrura, you have spoken such wise words, but my mind is chanchala. I'm attached to my 100 children. Even one son is enough. He had got 100. I pity him. You know? With one son, we have moha. Imagine 100 sons. 100 times moha. That is what he had. Ishwarasya vidim konu vidunot anyatha puman bhumer bharavatārāya yo avatirno yados kule. But then, sir, that Lord has been born in the Lord has taken avatara. He's born in the Yadukula. For what? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkratam. I really wonder what he has in mind. Already, Dhritarashtra is having a doubt that the Lord has sent this fellow only to find out how I'm ill-treating the children of Pandu. इत्यभिप्रेत्य नृपतेर अभिप्रायं स यादवः सुहृत्भिः समनुज्ञात पुनर्यदुपुरीम् अगात्. After that he went off. He went off to Yadupuri, back to Krishna, to tell him what had happened. Shasham sarama krishnabhyam dhritarashtra vicheshtitam pandavan prati kauravya yadartham preshita swayam. He went there, fulfilled the purpose for which he was sent, gave a true report of what happened in Hastinapura. Again, to make the long story short, there are some passages where we come to know that the Lord establishes the city of Dwaraka, the famous Dwaraka where we have all visited. There was another Dwaraka, and that Dwaraka is submerged. A lot of marine excavation has been going on, and that is how the Lord created this beautiful capital called Dwaraka. And this Dwaraka, says the Bhagavata, had so many accessories, so much of wealth. He discussed with Balrama and said, let us have a fortress 12 yojanas in circumference within the sea, so that it would not be attacked by anyone. Drishyate yatre hi tvashtram vijnanam shilpanaipunam. We want Vishwakarma's skill to be evident. We'll have such a lovely place. And how was this place? The gateway towers were topped with golden towers, with golden gateways, and with golden turrets, which were skyscrapers. The upper levels had crystal. The gold-covered houses were adorned in front with golden pots. There were stables for fine horses. There was a resident. Every residence had a watchtower, and 4 different orders: the Kshatriya, Brahmana, Shudra, and Vaishya. All of them lived there. Krishna and Balrama's palaces were built. The Lord Indra brought Krishna a beautiful Sudharma hall, standing within which, if a mortal enters it, he will never die. Indra gave the Parijata tree also to him. Lord Varuna gave very swift horses to him. They were pure dark blue. Some of them were dark blue, some of them were white. Kubera, who is the treasurer of the gods, he gave the 8 mystic powers. So there was always wealth in Dwaraka. And then whatever was given to the Lord, these demigods, whatever he had given them, they gave him back. And this was the most beautiful capital that could be ever imagined in the world. From this capital, the Lord is now coming out. And he is coming with a garland of lotuses, but having no weapons. When he comes out, the Bhagavata says that he was seen as the most lovely person in the world. It was Kalayavana, one of the enemies of Dwaraka, who saw Krishna coming out. The Lord, most beautiful, with a dark blue complexion, yellow silk garment. He had the Srivatsa. Tam vilokya vinishkrantam, ujjihanam ivodupam, darshaniyatamam shyamam, pita kausheya vasasam, Srivatsa vakshasam brajat, kaustubha mukta kandaram, pruthu dirgha chaturbahum, navakanjarunekshanam. Have this picture of the Lord in your mind when you go to sleep, and we will see the rest of the katha in on tomorrow's evening. May the Lord fulfill all your dharmic desires. Please bless me as long as I live. Let me carry this message of faith and grace wherever I go. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruvani Tirmatir Mama. Narayana 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 Bolo Narayana 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 Krishna Narayana 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 Satya Narayana 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 Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhuta Dhruvani Tirmatir Mama. I'll take one more minute of yours. Dwaraka was created by the Lord and it has a history of its own. So great a history that it is live even today. The great Dr. Rao, the marine excavator, architect, archaeologist, he writes in one of his interviews that, you know how marine excavation goes on, it costs a lot because people have to be sent diving down several feet, and dangerous, and all those prints have to be taken out. It means big money. They're all housed in a ship offshore, and this excavation goes on. This marine research goes on. As they were doing it, suddenly they were hard up for money. There was deep shortfall of money. Suddenly it came to a halt. He was standing on the deck, Dr. Rao says, and he was looking at the towers of the temple of Dwarkadish and said, Dwarkadish, I'm empty-handed now. I have nothing to pay my staff. How can this research go on? Just then he came to know that on the ship there was a very important person. And who was it? The then President of India. He came out and said, Dr. Rao, what are you thinking about? He said, sir, I didn't know you were on the ship. No, I just came to find out what you were doing. Sir, I'm hard up for money. Says, don't worry. From the president's fund, we will give you whatever amount you want. He takes the check and signs it. Jai Jai Dwarkadhish, Prabhu Jai Jai Dwarkadhish, तन मन धन सब तुझको समर्पण मांगे हैं आशीष. Om Jai Jai Dwarkadhish. You think he will not help someone who is rediscovering Dwarka for us? I just want to share this with you.
Amma pranam. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Amma.
Jai Shri.
Thank you, Amma. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Amma ji. Thank you so much.
Jai Mata Di Amma, Jai Mata Di.
Jai Shri Krishna, Amma. Thank you.
Yes.
Jai Shri Krishna Amma.
Jai Shri Krishna, Amma.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Amma. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi. Jai Shri Krishna.
We'll meet tomorrow.